Hey guys, how are you? Hope everybody's doing great today. Today's video, some of you were asking for this, and it's true. It has been a long time since I did this. I post videos all the time showing like, hey, here's Archer in my Hydra team. And some of you guys were like, hey, what about all the other people on your Hydra team? Like, what do their builds look like? What's the full picture here? And it's definitely true. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and a lot of things have changed on my team since then because obviously I've gotten some new champs, changed people's builds, all that good stuff. So I will show you that today. This is the team. It's about 130 million damage. It did basically the same score the past 2 weeks during this rotation. So pretty consistent to be getting around that score. I think that the team could definitely go to Nightmare, no problem. My team, we don't down Nightmare, so we just focus on downing Brutal, Hard, and Normal, so we can all get max chests on all of those. So that's the current goal. And then the goal of this video, is not saying like, you need these exact champs. You should build these exact builds with these exact stats. That's not what I'm going for at all. For anybody who's just getting into Hydra, or, you're like, maybe midway progressing through it, like you're doing hard or you're working on normal or whatever you happen to be doing, I just want to show you the champions I use, the builds I use, and their role in the team, just to kind of give you something to think about. You can look at the champs that you have and see who would be a good fit for your Hydra team. Okay, so this is the team. And I'm just going to go in and just show you sort of the start of it, show you what everybody's doing, what's up. But I'll give you a brief overview right here. And again, you don't need these exact champions. Like, you do not have to have Rakavile Tide, Void Lego. You can look in your own champs and hopefully have somebody serving a similar function. So the first one is super basic, right? Rakavile Tide. She's a healer, she's a reviver, she's a cleanser, and it's very hard to get through a Hydra run without a reviver, without a cleanser, without heals. You would have to have a crazy specific team, so that's just, that's a very basic kind of champ that the vast majority of teams are going to need to utilize. You don't have to have a Void Lego, like in my hard team, I use like Rectordrath. So it doesn't have to be, something crazy, but you should have somebody sort of fulfilling that role, right? And then I do have Archer again. I mean, she's beyond busted. I understand it was hard to get her. I got so lucky. I pulled her randomly. It was literally the first Sacred I opened during the Ancora fusion, during like the Summon Rush. It was insane luck. But I mean, she's bringing so much for me, right? She's got a Provoke, which we need to lock down the Head of Decay. She's got Hex. She's got Decreased Speed, which is a very important debuff. She has heals for whatever reason. So just crazy champ, broken, insane. I probably even forgot something that she does. But yeah, she brings so much to the table. Artak, most teams are going to have an HP burner. Artak, who most of us hopefully have because they gave him out for free, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, around that time frame. And, so he's an amazing champion. The constant applying of HP burn, the constant activation of HP burn, he'll extend the burn on his A1. He also has decreased attack on the HP burn activation. So decreased attack, also amazing debuff. Do not undervalue that. These heads do a lot of damage, particularly this guy, Wrath. So definitely, if you can squeeze decreased attack in there, do so. Newt, again, kind of broken champ. He was a fusion. A lot of you might have him. A lot of you might not have him. That's fine. But the principles are the same, right? Like, whether you have Newt or whether you have Royal Guard or Husk or whatever, the idea is that, he's a max HP hitter, which is great because these heads have a lot of HP, so you're doing more damage. And then additionally, he has AoE weaken, so that's increased damage for my whole team. He has AoE decreased attack, and again, pretty nice debuff to have. He'll place counterattack on himself. You know, great champ. And then obviously the max HP triple hit Mega Smack. Very good. Ugo, the lone epic in my team. I actually have 2 Ugos leveled, 1 in each team. And what she does is, it's hard to, I mean, there's no one else who does all of these things, right? Okay, so she's got AoE decreased defense, which means all of my damage dealers are doing more damage. She's got AoE block buffs, which is very, very important for many of the heads. You have the buff stealing head, Mischief, so obviously you want block buffs on that. You have the poison cloud, you want to block that from going out, or else you'll weak hit on everything, and you will basically be able to do nothing for 2 enemy turns while they all have this very good buff. And you also want to block buffs on Wrath, because when his passive activates, you know, once you hit him 15 times, he'll place like block debuffs and incredible buffs on himself. So you also want to block that. And block the decreased attack, I'm sorry, block him from putting increased attack on himself. So that is just block buffs. I would say it's probably like the most important debuff. It's constantly the thing. Like if this run is going to fail, it's probably because a block buffs randomly got resisted or something like that. It's super important, particularly in this rotation. There are so many heads where it's an issue. So, and I'll show you in a second, if I start this run and because of the affinity issue, if I don't place a block buffs on Wrath, I'm just going to restart it. It's not even worth it, you know? Okay. And then very, very last but not least, Rosalvarg here, you could swap this also. Well, actually you can't because now I have the aura. But theoretically, without that, it's the same aura. Rosalvarg, bringing a lot of important things to the table. He has multiple AoE nukes. He's an attack champ. He theoretically can do a lot of damage. And then really important buffs for our own team. Increase accuracy and increase speed. So when you think about it, these heads, they take turns, right? They have speeds just like we do. And it's important that we are going faster than them. And there's different ways you can do this. You can increase your own team's speed. Important. You can decrease their speed. Also very, very important. You can do both. You know, there's like extra turns. There's champions that increase turn meter. I mean, obviously the dream is to have like Necmo Thar, but you know, dreams, they don't always come true. There's no Necmo here, but yeah, so we want to make sure we're going faster than them and slowing them down. That's really important. That allows us to survive way, way more turns than we would ever be able to without. And then, you know, other cool stuff, AoE Leech, triple hit A1, that boosts turn meter. I put Phantom Touch on him just for a little extra damage. And I feel like I forgot to say something about Rosalvarg, but no, I think that's it. You know, the Leech is good. That gives your team more sustain. So all around, solid team. I think the hardest things that it's hard to find is decreased speed. Very, very rare debuff. Block buffs, super important. Not a lot of people have it. And not a lot of people have it that will fit well into a lineup. And then increased speed. That's also a pretty rare buff. I do not have a lot of people with increased speed. So that's sort of the thing of Hydra. You need so many things and there's just so little room. And some things you can for sure go without. Like if I didn't have increased speed, the score wouldn't be that high, but it would still be a 1 key, right? So it's definitely possible to succeed if you don't have everything. Don't worry about it if you don't have everything. I didn't even have a provoke forever, and I was still 1 keying like Brutal. Is it harder? Yes. Is it possible? Also yes. So let's just go in, start the run. I'll show you how I would handle it. Fastest champ, Rekka Viletide. She's got her cleanse. She's got her block debuffs. I am going to open with the block debuffs. We've got the lovely Fearhead out today, who will fear us, unresistible, goes through block debuffs anytime we touch him, so I am going to save her cleanse for once my whole team is already feared, which we surely will be in a moment. Again, this is a tough rotation if you have a lot of magic champs on your team, which I do because there is 2 force heads, so it's unpleasant. And like I said, if I don't place the block buffs on this guy, I would just restart it. Thank goodness we placed it, because this is the hardest thing for my team to deal with, I guess, is if he starts getting all of his buffs. So Relzavarg will do the increased speed, increased accuracy, lots of buffs for my team. Archer, I've got the 2 abilities, right? I've got the decreased speed and I've got the provoke hex. I want to open with the provoke because if I don't provoke this guy on the left, the head of decay, he's going to cleanse all my hard works and all my debuffs, and that will be very sad. So we'll open with that one. If that for some reason had been randomly resisted or whatever the heck, that, you know, I would probably also restart, because may as well, right? We just started, may as well give ourselves the best circumstances possible. You could also restart if you didn't apply HP burn on everybody, but personally, I don't care that much. I just want this block buffs to land. I'm going to open with the Blessed Bash because I just want to come around to it as quickly as possible. And you can see, as long as I had the decreased defense down, this hits the max every time. And then here, half my team is feared, right? So now I'm going to come in with the cleanse. Everybody, you know, we don't have to worry about fears for the moment. We'll come in with that from Artok. Here, you could use the heal if you wanted, because it'll also remove, like, this fear. And it would remove, like, this. Or, you know, you can just do the A1. Whatever you want. Use our other nuke here. Got a little counterattack there. That's nice. Now we can come in with, like, the AoE weaken. Come in with the decreased speed, right, since we've done the provoke. And, I mean, that was it. We've cycled through everybody's abilities, and basically I'm just going to do that as long as the game allows me to. And I think it would auto, but, you know, with Hydra Clash and everything, I think a lot of us are kind of just playing it these days. So, there's that also. So that's basically, you know, that is the team. I always record it just in case for a video or whatever. But, you know, it's really nothing that you didn't see. You know, new challenges can arise when a head respawns that wasn't part of the starting rotation. Like, you can see, you know, now I've got the poison head and the one whose name has completely lost me. This dude. So, you know, some new challenges arising depending on what happens. My team isn't dealing with the fear super well. You know, you can see it gets a little hairy here sometimes. Because, yeah, I'm just relying on the cleanse. You know, if you have something like Shamail, that's awesome. He does not fit into my team at all at the moment because, I don't know, I tried it like a million ways and there's just nobody who's replaceable currently. So, there is no Shamail. But, again, that's kind of the fun thing. I mean, you can beat this a million ways. The team I was using like 6 months ago is like nothing like this. And that was still a 1 key at the time. So much you can do with it. Don't feel like you have to have these champs or even all these things. You know, be realistic. It's fine if you don't have all this stuff yet. No problem. So this keeps going and going and going. And yeah, it's like 130 mil score. It was 1,000 turns about. Turn limit is 1,500, so I could not survive to the turn limit, but you know, it's a decent team. And we can definitely take a look at everybody's builds. Okay, so I'll just go in the order if I could remember them. First one is Wreck of Viletide. Again, you do not have to have a Void Legendary doing this job. Healing, reviving, all that. She's also got this really good passive. At the start of each turn, fills the turn meters of all allies by 10%. So I'm getting more natural speed, and turn meter fill through this. And then again, we've got our speed aura. Level 1 blessings are just kind of bad. I just went intimidating presence because I figured like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll take a little bit more speed everywhere in the game that I use her, you know, whatever, plus the 7,500 HP. So you could go a million things though if you use her in arena or whatever. And then for me, it is a pretty fast build. I just, you know, it's full speed build. Did we get a good banner? Not really. It's okay. So yeah, HP, defense, and I just went as fast as possible because of the passive. And, you know, yours doesn't have to be 300 speed. It can be, you know, if you're on hard, shoot for like 220. If you're on brutal, shoot for like 240, 250. Stuff like that. And yeah, it's just pretty like standard speed stuff. It's not super amazing rolls, but, you know, pretty good. And I haven't gone through and glyphed anything because CVC is in like a couple days, so I'm a little bit stingy with my glyphs, you know, I'll use them then. So yeah, I mean, the gear's not amazing. It's fine. And then something else to consider is that I also have area bonuses. I have exclusively focused the Hydra ones. Nothing else is really worth focusing, like maybe Fire Knight and Hydra. I mean, if you're having issues in any of these, you know, it's totally valid to use it for that. But yeah, for me, I would say Hydra, like Fire Knight. You know, I have a 1-key Demon Lord team. Don't care about that. Don't care about the Dragon Slayer, you know. So yeah, I full went into Hydra. So if we go back, this is my stats. And then if you include the Hydra bonuses, those are my stats. Okay, so there is the healer cleanser roll. We'll just go to Artok because he's right there. He's our HP burner. You can see like, if you have really good damage dealing champs, if you have like a Chrysia or something, your experience might be different than mine. In my experience, it is very difficult to outdamage Artok. He is always the most by far. Then my nukers, then my max HP hitters. He's, you know, he's the king of HP burning. What else can you say? And I did just go triple perception for him, get him the accuracy needs. I use him in like Ice Column Hard too, so keeping that in mind. He's an HP champ, so get him a lot of HP. I don't think I really went too hard on defense. Accuracy, and then if you're talking strictly Hydra, okay, but yeah, again, triple perception so I can get the accuracy I need and some help with the speed. I have like a counterattack amulet. It would be nice if he could get those counterattacks because he does extend HP burn on his H1. It's an AoE, attack everything, so can get some more War Masters in and stuff. Speaking of that, Masteries, should have shown you that. On her, just support defense trees. I went for the res. She's not really a damage dealer. Most of what she's doing is not attacking, so there's not really a lot of point to War Master. So that's what I went for there. Artok, definitely just the standard War Master, you know, get the accuracy, the Lore of Steel, get the debuff extension, get the better chance to place the debuff, all that good stuff. You know, pretty standard stuff. Rosalvarg's right there as well. Again, this is not the most amazing build ever. I've stolen a lot of his pieces over time. I've seen people who have like Rosalvarg with like 400 speed in their teams. Like, let's calm down, keep it real. I've got like 235, 100% crit rate, 256% crit damage. Nothing insane. 4,400 attack. Thing about Hydra is these heads hit hard. You do have to use like some HP accessories. If everything is like full attack and you have like 25k HP, you are going to get wiped every single time these heads attack. You will never be alive. So yes, we did have to sacrifice some attack in the name of having HP, and that's just what it's like. A lot of improvements could be made. You know, I see like some some 5-star crit damage gloves, but again, like it just goes to show you like you can have this very imperfect, like very mediocre build, and you can go out there and one key brutal or better. So mix them as sets, you know, nothing crazy. Again, definitely need some better rolls here. Better rolls there would have been nice. But yeah, you know, should be fairly fast. Get the attack you can. Get the survivability you can. Archer and Newt right next to each other. Archer, I did do a full video on her if you're interested. I went for Relentless. I know it just got the nerf. I don't really care, I guess. I mean, to me, this set has always been what it is. It is a very, very small chance. 18%, that's not even 1 in 5. So very, very, very small chance to get an extra turn. And that's what it is. But basically, you just, you know, put that on the characters where it would be extremely helpful if you got an extra turn with them. So, like, for me, you know, I'm thinking about, like, this provoke and stuff. I just want to come around to that as quickly as possible. So that was the thought process. By no means do you have to use that build or anything close to it. And, you know, she's a defense nuker. So we went as much defense as we can. Again, it's tough because, you know, you need to be fast. So it's like, I do have the speed boots. So there's the stats here. And then she is also, the accuracy is pretty low. But I know that my team has Rosalvarg. He has increased accuracy. So plus she has her self-buffing accuracy on the A1. So I'm always going to have the accuracy I need to land the debuffs. And then, so that's them just as normal. And here's with my Hydra battles. Get some little upgrades on those. Newt right next to him. He's definitely a champ you could also put in Relentless or like Reflex, you know, coming back to your big mega, the Mega Smack, the Blessed Bash. You want to come back to that as often as possible. You know, I went Perception Speed because on Brutal, you know, you do want people like 240 speed. You're gonna start getting lapped if you're slower than that. And defense, you know, a little bit, 100% crit rate. And then you might think the crit damage is really low, which, I mean, I guess it kind of looks like it. But like I showed you in when I did the demonstration, this game has a built-in HP cap on any max HP hitters, which is just saying like you cannot hit higher than X amount. And so most people actually have their max HP hitters built with too much crit damage because it's super capped at most places in the game. So like if I come in here, blah blah blah, doing my thing, do that. Okay, I guess he's like our very last person. Okay, so watch this. Okay, so each hit decreases the target's defense by 3%. So theoretically, I should be hitting harder with each hit, but I'll show you that I'm not. Because that is the max. That's the most you can hit. If I had 800% crit damage, it would not hit for more than that because that's just the game's inherent cap. So when you're building your max HP hitters, keep that in mind. You are actually very, very capped at most places in the game. And when I first built him, I felt bad. I was like, oh, I could only get like 216. And then I watched a couple of videos, I went in, and yeah, I mean, you can't hit any higher than that. There's no point to having more. So don't worry about it if it can't be that high. You can go in and test, see if you're hitting the max. And yeah, and I think, yeah, that's the Hydra battles one. So we do have a little better. We're like 234 with our Hydra battles bonuses, but Yeah, if you can't get it that high, don't worry about it. It's very, very different than building a nuker. Like, 216% on Taurus, that's kind of bad, but on Newt, it's hitting the max every time. And then I think, do I only have one more? Is it just Ugo time? Okay, so Ugo time, our lone epic in the team. Like I said, it's just a unique combination of decreased defense, block buffs, and also the heal is super nice too. I went Miracle Heal on the Blessing, which is the one that has a chance to destroy max HP. And honestly, I find it noticeable. Like on my teams that I do not have this Blessing on somebody, I think it's really noticeable. Because the max that head can reduce your max HP is down to 75%. And it's really not fun when your champions are just sitting at 75 HP or less, if they're further damaged the whole time. So if you can get that, I think that's probably the best Blessing you're going to see here for her. And again, this is another character. I actually have both my Ugos in Relentless. I'm working on the other one currently. Not done yet, as you can see by the lack of banner. But yeah, they're going to be about the same thing. Because again, Relentless, I just use it on characters where having that little bit more uptime on the ability is a big, big deal, like the block buffs. So, stats I went into are like HP, resistance, defense, 240 speed, and then of course the accuracy to place the debuffs. Here's us with our area bonuses. And then, again, there's like handy charts that you can take a look at, see what you need for the difficulty you're doing. Like this. I can post the link to this too, but this is one that I use a lot, showing how much accuracy, resistance you need. Very helpful. And then let me just make sure. Did we talk about everybody? Yes. Okay. So that was everybody. That's the detailed breakdown of my Hydra team. I'm just remembering that I forgot to show you masteries. So I think I do have the Worm Master on Ugo. If you wanted to do like the res or accuracy, if you needed it, that's totally fine. Ugo was like one of the first champs I built on my account. And I find myself nowadays more often going for the extra resistance, extra accuracy than the War Master. Because, the little bit of extra damage is nice, but like largely, leave that to your damage dealers. So, and just, pick up the extra stats if you happen to need them. I did go for War Master on Archer because, again, damage dealer, get like this stuff, extend the duration of debuffs. She already books up to 100% on everything, so I ignored this and I just went for like the increased speed for dead allies. Newt, he's a triple hitter, so I did Giant Slayer. You could do War Master or whatever you want. It's not, the end of the world. Again, I don't care about Helm Slasher because I'm already reaching the max HP cap every time. Get a little more accuracy here. Pretty standard stuff. And I think everybody else I remembered. Rosenberg. Oh, he's the triple hitter also, so I did Giant Slayer. Again, you could do War Master, not the end of the world. And since he places a lot of buffs, I sort of went down, the buff angle with him, I guess. And yeah. So that is my Hydra team. If you guys have any questions or thoughts, feel free to let me know. I hope that helped explain some things. And you guys take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.